My name is Kevin. We're going to do an epsilon delta proof for the function of 2x plus 5 equals -1. And we're going to do the algebraic way of the proof. So what we do is we're going to start over here at the end of f of x minus L is less than e. And we're going to go ahead and try to find a delta that's going to work to prove this. So what we start off with is a bit of scratch work. Okay, so in this case, this is our function, and this is our limit, and we're just going to start from the end over there. So here we get f of x minus our L is less than our epsilon. Okay, and what we're going to do is now plug in what we have. So here's our function, which is 2x plus 5 minus our limit, which is -1. And we know that all of this is less than epsilon. Okay, next thing we're going to do is do a bit of arithmetic inside. So we have 2x plus 6 is less than epsilon. Next thing we're going to do is factor a 2 out. Okay, so now we have x plus 3, which is less than epsilon as well. And now we start to see the original x plus 3, which is what we want over here to be less than our delta. So now, a little bit of algebra, divide both sides by 2. And here we have our x plus 3, which is less than our epsilon over 2. And keep in mind, this is what we're trying to show and prove towards the end. So now what we're going to do is let our delta equal epsilon over 2. So here, this is the beginning of the proof, is delta equals epsilon over 2. And basically what we're going to do is just start from this point and go back and prove this. So here's let delta equal epsilon over 2. And based on the definition, we have x minus our a, which is less than delta. And this is our first step here. Since we know delta is equal to epsilon divided by 2, we're going to have x minus our a, which is less than epsilon divided by 2. In this case, a is what we're approaching, and we're approaching -3. So x minus our -3 is less than our epsilon divided by 2. Multiply these through, and now we have our x plus 3 is less than our epsilon. I'm going to multiply both sides by 2 here. So here what I get is 2x plus 3 is less than epsilon. I'm going to multiply the 2 through the x plus 3. And now what I have is absolute value, 2x plus 6, which is less than my epsilon. And we're almost there. What we're trying to prove is 2x plus 5 minus -1 is going to be less than epsilon. So in this case, I'm just going to break this 6 up. So I have 2x plus 5, and I have minus my -1, which is the limit, and almost done. Now, last step is just show what we're trying to prove, which in this case was f of x minus the limit, which is less than epsilon. And the proof is done.